welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And today we are here to talk about, I guess, the first couple of days of pads in training camp, officially week 2 of training camp. Lots of fun. There's a little bit to talk about. Jerry and I actually went to training camp today, and we have some thoughts.
Yeah, lots of thoughts. Good, bad, and some very interesting questions.
Yeah. We are brought to you by CBDX.com. That's CBDX.com. Go there for all of your CBD needs, gummies, flour, vapes. I think they have like disposable vape pens and actual vape pens. They got all kinds of stuff. But that's our go-to source for CBD product.
It's real. Yeah, I mean, we both swear by the Delta 8 gummies. Promo code Meow gets you 20% off. I
check it out. Yeah, we use it all the time. I mean, it's a good product and fast shipping, everything you'd want. So check them out.
Don't operate heavy machinery on it. Please be safe.
That's right. Or try to do a podcast. All right. So the training camp experience, I wanted to kind of talk about this just a little bit up front for the fans, right? Fans training camp experience. Not great, in my opinion.
It's very interesting. It feels like they purposely try to keep the offense away from the fans. That's really they always play on the opposite side. They don't really play like any scrimmage or any like 2-minute warning on the closer field to the fans. It's hot, you know. I know it's not meant to be a party for the fans. It's supposed to be camp where, you know, the players are getting better. And that's what it's hopefully is doing. But I get what you're saying, that it could be better, you know.
Well, I was just looking at some training camp video from other fan bases, like from other teams, like the Cowboys, a few other teams, and it looks like the fan experience. Number one, there's like places to sit. There's not just a big hill, right?
Yeah.
There's bleachers. There's chairs. The fans are closer to the action. Now, you know, where we saw like the linebackers, we saw some of the secondary, some offensive, defensive line work, but we didn't get to see any of like the 11-on-11 stuff or 7-on-7s or any of the, you know, the scrimmages. That was all on the complete opposite side of the field from where we were. Lots of players kind of lined up on the sidelines in between where we were and where the action was taking place. You couldn't see hardly anything.
No.
You could not take pictures. You could not have your cell phones out to take video or pictures. You know, we had some guy come by and tell us to put them up, essentially, when we were trying to take some video and stuff.
Well, I wasn't even taking videos. I was taking a picture of literally a huddle of quarterbacks. And I
was trying to take some video. But, I mean, still, like, why? Why not? What are we going to do? You're going to have cell phone videos being sent to other teams to let them see what the plays are? No. I mean, that's not going to happen. If they wanted to, they could still get that. The Panthers are posting videos all the time on their own social media. Like, it's nothing. But yeah, I mean, there's no shade for the fans. It's like brutally hot. I understand, you know, that the Rock Hill thing was going to be a much better fan experience. Like, that was one of the reasons they were doing it. They got to figure something out. It's no wonder that there's, you know, brutally low attendance this year at training camp. It makes me kind of feel bad for the team. Like, they're feeling like they don't have the support of the fans. Well, the fan experience is it's shit. I mean, it sucks. It is not comfortable. It's not enjoyable.
There's no concession stand, so like I brought water and I killed my couple of bottles of water quickly, and I was like, okay. And I'm not gonna walk the 20 minutes to my car to get another bottle of water that I had in my cooler. So, and like you said, we got told immediately to no cameras. Okay, scorching hot.
Hmm.
So far away. And like I said, they purposely move all the things we want to see as fans, like Sam Darnold, Baker. They moved them to fields that no one could see it except for some
media
personnel and media, the professional media. And it was like, why can't we watch? Like, bring it to the closer field. Let your fans get engaged. We did see David Tepper. David Tepper signing some autographs. He was like 20 feet away from us. Mm-hmm. But, okay, that's David Tepper.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a few years ago, I know when Richardson owned it, the cheerleaders were out there and stuff like that. Granted, we went on a Tuesday midday, but before there was like a Play 60 field for the kids to play football. The cheerleaders were out there. And this year, same with FanFest last year, it just feels like they're neglecting their fan experience.
It's like if it's not making them money, they're not going to put any effort into it, right? I mean, and that seems to be David Tepper's whole deal. If it's not going to make him a bunch of money, if he's not going to get that immediate return on investment, he's just not going to do it.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks for the fans. But that being said, I don't want to be so negative. I mean, it was fun to be out there. It was fun to see the players. We did see some really cool stuff that we'll talk about here in a few minutes. But there is some news. So let's get to kind of what's going on.
Okay, first, Shaq Thompson is still on the PUP list. He's expected to be back by week 1, but there's no guarantee. And he kind of even pretended like it wasn't, like, that's not out of the realm that he'll miss week 1. That makes me a little nervous.
Yeah. Now, you're saying week 1 of the season?
Of the season. Because they asked him a couple days ago if he would be back by week 1, and he kind of played coy. Don't know if that was just him gaming the system, but it makes me a little nervous because he is our linebacking core.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that we saw today when we were there. We got a real up-close look at the linebacking core, and without Shaq, it's Frankie Luvu and a whole bunch of nobodies, or a whole bunch of not nobodies necessarily, but
Damian Wilson and Corey Littleton were the big names, and literally, besides Brandon Smith, I had to keep looking back at the brochure to see which linebacker was that. I don't know.
Bunch of guys that aren't going to make the team. I mean, they just didn't look very good, but
no.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising because I thought that he was on the PUP just basically to kind of because he had off-season surgery and he was sort of just working back into shape essentially.
Yeah, that's basically what I was kind of sold as. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little concerning.
Our other PUP list. Oh,
go ahead.
Our other PUP list, J.C. Horn has returned back to practice. He is not back to full practice and is more day-to-day with his return. We did see him line up and do some drills, but I don't believe he was on the 11-11 drills yet.
I don't think so, but he looks spry. He was jumping around out there. He's running around. He's a big dude.
Big dude.
Like, he's legit. So it was good to see him out there, getting back healthy and ready to go. So a couple of roster changes, I guess. The Panthers signed former second-round pick cornerback Duke Dawson and another quarterback, Devin Jones, within the last couple of days. So Duke Dawson, where was he previously?
He was with, I believe, the Cardinals last, but he was a second-round draft pick by New England, got injured, never really played there, and then they got traded to, I believe it was the Cardinals. He played a little bit, but he's never really caught on. He's probably one of those guys that had a lot of potential, but just hasn't really worked on it. Maybe it was the Broncos. Yeah, it was the Broncos. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I kind of put you on the spot there. Sorry. But yeah, adding a little bit of cornerback depth after the retirement of, was it Rashawn Melvin?
Rashawn Melvin, J.C. Horn's injury.
Yeah. So good depth added there. I will say though, I think our cornerback room is pretty deep and pretty good, even with that retirement. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think we're in pretty good shape. Secondary is in pretty good shape. To add those guys, obviously there was the the retirement, but also we waived wide receiver Andrew Parchment. Wasn't going to make the team anyway. And then Keith Taylor, cornerback, out with a hamstring injury, will probably miss a couple of weeks. So doesn't seem to be too concerning for Matt Rule and the staff, but obviously right now you want to keep him out just as a precaution. So Keith Taylor going to be a big part of that secondary, I think, this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think Keith Taylor, he's the next man up. CJ Henderson is having a great camp from all aspects. I watched him make a couple breakups today. Steve Smith Sr. went on the radio, talked glowingly. You know, he got out of that Urban Meyer system, came in this year, and he has looked great. So really excited about that. And then we have Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn, and then, you know, Keith Taylor's the next man up. I think that's really solid.
Yeah, I mean, CJ Henderson, like, if that works out, what a steal, honestly. I mean, you know, if he's able to be, you know, that top 10 pick talent and able to kind of realize that on the field, wow. Like, Fitterer, just amazing. Really, really nice job.
Well, if Henderson works out, you've got 3 years of J.C. Horn, Henderson, and Dante Jackson under all these current contracts that are very manageable. So, and that's a top 3. Like, Dante Jackson would be your weak link in that, and I weak link. We say he's a top tier number 2 corner. I don't think he could go against, you know, premier pass catchers and dominate. But I think against number 2 speedier guys, I think that's where his money is. So,
yeah, I mean, that could be a really, really like top end secondary if CJ Henderson is able to, you know, realize his potential, I'll say. So really good initial, you know, thoughts from him on camp, and his Matt Rule has even said that his personality, his demeanor, everything is kind of just so much better. I think he really got the Urban Meyer treatment was really bad for him.
Yeah,
you know, as a rookie and trying to learn the game. Like, I really think he's in a good spot now.
Well, he had Doug Marrone the year before his rookie season, I believe. Right, and then then his sophomore year, it was the training camp. He had some injuries and supposedly looked really good in training camp last year with the Jags, and then they traded him. He didn't mesh with Urban Meyer, and from what I'm not going to knock a guy for not meshing with Urban Meyer after everything I've heard. I mean, if you don't show players respect, I don't expect how you're going to get respect back. Agreed.
All right. What we got next here?
We're going to go ahead and jump into some QB talk. Every camp, it seems like whoever's playing with the ones wins the day. Except for Matt Corral, won a day on, I think it was Saturday of last week, supposedly.
Because he threw into a net?
Yeah, I mean, they're not really letting that poor guy play. Like, when they were doing drills, he had the scout team on the back end while everybody else, PJ Walker and them, were throwing to the receivers, which I felt bad for him because, honestly, he looked really sharp from the, you know, throwing in the nets and all the passes I was watching. I was like, he looks really good. He's getting the ball. I mean, his delivery's nice. It's got zip. He was more accurate than the other 3 quarterbacks, it looked like. But
it's a little weird that they're giving PJ so much of a look.
Yeah.
Like, we know what PJ is. Matt Corral obviously is going to make the team. Like, they're not going to cut their 3rd round pick that they traded up to get. PJ Walker is not going to be on the roster. Like, let's see what Matt Corral can do. I don't understand why PJ is getting so much.
It's Matt Rule's boy. I mean, that's all it is. I know. And Matt Rule has this weird thing. But this is
one of the things that frustrates us about Matt Rule. Right? Yeah. Is like the obvious thing. He just doesn't do it. He has to be pushed into it. Brady Christensen at left tackle. Baker Mayfield. Obviously the most starting ready quarterback on the roster. we saw a little bit of it today. I mean, the video has been making the rounds of his pass to Robbie Anderson.
Yeah. I mean, that was a beautiful,
great pass. Great pass.
Split coverage. I mean, he only Robbie Anderson could have caught that.
Yeah.
He was in double coverage and he threw it perfectly.
Yep.
You know, Robbie Anderson actually caught a ball too. It wasn't dropped.
Yeah, it was a great
catch. So
really good catch.
It just makes no sense to me that, you know, you're still doing that. Sam Darnold, he's looked good, but it's Sam Darnold.
But he hasn't looked like any better than Baker, and Baker's been here for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Like Baker's, you know, if the competition is already that close and Baker just got here, that should tell you everything you need to know.
And Matt Rule even said, oh, you could already tell he's really getting more familiar with the playbook and the players. Yeah, he probably would do that if he was just getting more first-team reps. And once the ghosts come flying, we know what Sam Darnold's going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
yeah, I mean, but like you said, Corral has looked good in the very limited work he's gotten. You know, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to most with the preseason is to see Matt Corral, let him get out there and actually get some work.
Yeah.
So first preseason game is like less than 2 weeks away now. So we're getting there. It's a Saturday at 1:00. Like I was looking at the schedule because I was thinking, you know, they're always Thursday at 7:00.
Yeah, Friday.
You know, Friday 7:00. Saturday 1:00. That kind of sucks. Like I was looking forward to Thursday night, you know, getting the preseason kicked off, but I have to wait a couple more days. Oh well.
Yeah, but Baker's a quarterback. I mean, there wasn't really much of a question, but overall he looks better. Yes, he's thrown some interceptions. He threw another one today to Frankie Louvu. He's got to clean that up, but I also think, you know, in time, more reps, he's going to get more familiar. He's going to get it. He's going to throw interception, guys. He's not going to be perfect, and he's been known for forcing the ball. That's just his MO. I don't suspect. I don't suspect.
He'll make incredibly exciting plays, and he'll make incredibly frustrating plays. We just hope that he makes more of the former. But in camp, for a guy that's been here for 2 weeks, nobody should be complaining about those interceptions.
No, it's learning.
Like he just got here. He's still getting his timing down. He's still learning the playbook. Like, of course he's going to throw interceptions. The fact that he's throwing some really good balls and making some really exciting plays should be really encouraging to all of us. Yes. I know it is for me.
Oh, it definitely is for me too, because at least I feel there's a glimmer of hope at the quarterback position right now. Because going into the season without him, I really did not. My best wish was Matt Corral would just look lightning and unseat him or unseat Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but that was never going to happen because Matt Rule won't give him that opportunity.
Nope. All right. Now let's move on to, now they're finally in pads. We're going to actually see some running plays, you know, blocking and, you know, defensive actually trying to get in the face. Obviously, they don't tackle. They just, you know, two-hand touch. And with Christian McCaffrey, we don't want him to get tackled anyways. So, with that said, the O-line is opening up huge holes. I've seen some videos of the practice on Monday. I saw it today where the running backs aren't getting touched till 5-6 yards down the field, which sounds great until you realize that's against our defense, who was really bad against the run last year. So,
yeah, I mean, again, because they're not really allowed to hit, you know, hard, it's really hard to judge the run defense. But I do like the you know, offensive line making those holes.
Yeah,
as very encouraging. But yeah, I mean, they didn't really do a ton to improve the run defense in the offseason, honestly.
Yeah, they were expecting Derek Brown and Ioannidis, I guess, to step up, or Davion Nixon to, you know, take another leap, but they're going to have to do something because from what it looked like, they were gashing that defensive line on run defense. I know that this whole defensive scheme is to really stop that pass, but what we saw last year is once teams ran on us, they ran on us.
Yep.
And with no linebacking support besides Shaq Thompson, no one else looks like a run-stuffing linebacker. I don't know what they're going to do besides bring in more defensive tackle help, which they've said that they plan on doing.
Yeah, I think they need to go ahead and get on that. And again, once cuts happen, there are going to be guys available, but I can't imagine they're going to be able to, bolster that run defense that much, with guys that are just going to fall off of other teams. So it's a little concerning, but again, this is something we dealt with last season, and if our offense was a little better last season, I think we'd have won a lot more games. So, if you get up on teams, they're not going to run as much. So better offense is a better run defense, honestly. Maybe that's what they're counting on.
That's maybe.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts?
No. Let's move on to the next thing here. So one of the things that we did get a pretty good eye on today was some of the pass rush drills versus offensive linemen, which is really nice because we got to see Ickey up close. We got to see Brady Christensen up close. We got to see Pat Elflein, your favorite, up close, get bowled over a couple of times.
Yeah.
Flat on his butt. What were you more impressed with, the pass rush or the pass protection, I guess?
So it's a mixed bag here for me because Brian Burns looked dominant no matter who they put up against him. I mean, he dominated Christensen, Ickey. I think he beat Moten. Like, he was just dominant. But then on the other side, I only saw Barno really break free one time, and Cade Mays had some really nice blocks. He got pushed back, but these drills are more one-on-one. There's no, scheming up against it. He got pushed back, but he kept his, I don't know if it was Nixon or not, but right in front of him, I saw Cade Mays make some nice ones. Brady Christensen, besides Brian Burns, dominated everybody.
Brady Christensen looked really good. Yep.
I think it was Etor dominated Pat Elflein, knocked him on his ass. Oh, sorry.
We saw Derek Brown had a really nice bull rush as well. So mixed bag, like you said.
Mixed bag. Austin Corbett and Bradley Bozeman I saw get pushed back to the quarterback a couple times. Yeah. And it makes you worried, but you're also hoping that maybe it's just more that it's one-on-one drills, basically.
Well, I mean, so far I think the defense has looked better than the offense overall, which is not a huge surprise. That tends to be the way things are in training camp. Early, the defense is always a little ahead of the offense. So, but yeah, I mean, I think maybe our fear of the offensive or the defensive line, maybe a little unfounded. Maybe things are going to be okay because I think our offensive line is going to be pretty good. So, and they were getting to the quarterback, quote unquote, during these drills. So, I would say I came away impressed by both lines actually. Yeah.
Moving on now, real quick from our observations and stuff. Who has kind of jumped out at you a couple, lately or your observation reads and everything like that, and who has kind of dropped a little bit on yours?
I mean, I would say obviously CJ Henderson has been a nice surprise so far. I liked seeing Dante Jackson out there. He was sort of jawing back and forth with some fans. I thought that was fun.
Oh, they called him out because he got beat by Zylstra, and he was like, "This is a receiver drill." And then the next drill, he dominated whatever receiver he was on. He just
locked him down. Yep. So that was fun. But I mean, I expected Dante to be good, so I'm not really gonna say it. I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, I would say CJ is certainly up. Matt Corral, I think, looks better than I expected him to so early.
Yeah, me too.
Again, limited work, but he looks like the real deal. I liked what I've heard from football people like Steve Smith, saying how impressed he was with him. In terms of stock down, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know anybody yet. I haven't heard a ton of great things from like Dante Foreman yet. Um, but it's still pretty early, so I don't know if I have any like big stock downs other than maybe like the linebacking core as a whole.
Yeah,
I'm a little
I
worried about
agree.
that.
That's stock up, stock down. Usually that's, but you're right. I haven't really heard much negative, and I didn't see much negative besides, like you said, not much depth there. Stock up, Terrace Marshall Jr. He has made some big catches. He's didn't do some today, but the other day he had a couple nice ones. Robbie Anderson he had two nice catches, both from Baker Mayfield. One, he wasn't covered, but it was just a drill. And the other one, that double coverage catch, looked good.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Robbie's stock up a little bit. Yeah, Marshall, I don't know, man. Like, we all want him to be good. I haven't seen anything in this camp that makes me think he's any better than he was last camp, if that makes sense. I think it's all going to be regular season for me with him and see if he can, whatever demons he had last year that he wasn't able to get on the field, if he's exercised those and he's able to get on the field.
Yeah. Also, we had the first kind of fisticuffs today. Kenny Robinson laid out a I forget who it was, receiver. Then the O-line came to the receiver's defense, and it was kind of a scrum. It wasn't anything serious. Yeah, it was nothing serious. It was towards the end of practice. Yeah. O-line standing up for their receiver. Defense, I saw it live, and I agree. He shouldn't have hit him that hard. Not for this type of drill, but
yeah,
I'm sure they're getting antsy in the pantsy to hit somebody, so.
It's coming, boys. It's coming. Don't hit your own players too hard.
Yeah.
Still gotta field the team. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I would say like I'm feeling more optimistic about the team in general.
Yeah.
Just from what we've heard, what we've seen. I like Matt Rule's demeanor a lot more than what we saw last season. I think he's more excited. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, I would say.
Now, with that being said, there is one last thing that I kind of want to talk about. Now, with Ickey on second string and Baker on sharing duties. Now, I feel like we're all on consensus that those two are going to start. Now, I understand
they should start.
They should start. Start week 1. I get the competition things, but this is how long is them competing for the spot going to hurt the team in the long run? I mean, let's be real. We drafted Ickey 6 overall. Put him at left tackle. I mean,
number one offensive lineman taken. Like, those guys start.
Yeah. And Brady Christensen, you didn't want to play there until the end of the season. So why is he above this guy that you best offensive lineman in the draft? Why are you putting him out there? Especially considering you want him to become a guard. Play him at guard. Get him in those guard reps because he's not going to be able to transition, I don't think, right away to guard. And then you're going to have to start Michael Jordan again. And we don't want to see that.
Yeah, and he kind of sucked at guard last season. So if
there was no kind of that. He sucked.
Yeah. If that's where you want him to be, then that's where he needs to be getting his reps.
Yeah.
We got Cam Irving as a backup for left tackle. We've got we've got a lot of flexibility on the line for guys that could fill in if they had to. So I would agree. I'm not too concerned yet, as we're only in week 2. We haven't even had the first preseason game yet. But I think it's more, for me, I would agree with you. It's more Brady Christensen than Ickey, because I think Ickey's going to be fine. Ickey's been playing left tackle his career. You know, he's coming in. That's his spot. Brady, if you're going to start him at guard, he needs to be playing guard right now. I 100% agree with that.
It just makes, I know that's Matt Rule. You got to earn your spot. You got to compete, or you got to earn it. Well, did Ickey not earn it by dominating college? Did he not do it by dominating the scouting combine? Did he not do it when he did everything you wanted in the interviews? did he not do it by showing up in shape and ready to go? Like, I've heard nothing besides this guy's a monster.
Well.
Yeah, like, he's been a monster. Why are you hurting his stock and learning better? I guess it's just like, oh, come on. I don't want to see this long, drawn-out process and he not get the reps he needs. You know, it's same with Brady Christensen last year. They didn't want to even try to play him at left tackle. Oh, no, Cam Irving's our premier left tackle. You know, we signed him on the first day of training camp. Well, look how that did you. Because you didn't give Christensen enough time. You weren't comfortable enough to put him out there until the end of the season when the whole season was already lost. And now you're saying he's one of our best players of the team. Well, you didn't see that last year until like week 13, 14.
Yeah. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about Matt Rule. Like, he doesn't do the obvious. He doesn't do what everyone sees, what everyone, you know, not just the fans, other media, you know, other coaches. Like, we've heard, even, what's his name? The new offensive line coach.
James Campen.
Even he was like, I wish that they would have played Brady more at left tackle last season because he looked pretty good from what I saw.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not just us guys. Like, it's everybody. But yeah, I mean, Matt Rule, you know, you went out, you traded for Baker. These discussions, these things were happening for months. You get your guy. Like we said, he's if he has not separated himself from Sam Darnold yet, Sam Darnold certainly hasn't separated himself from Baker. And the guy's been here for 2 weeks. He's still learning the playbook. That should be all you need to see. Like, all right, let's go ahead and give him all the reps. Let him get up to speed because obviously this is the guy.
He's still learning the playbook, yet he he makes plays down the field a lot better than Sam Darnold, who knows the playbook better, who's been here before. He knows the players better. Yet he still is more check down Charlie of dropping off those 3 and 4 yard passes.
Well, he's scared to make a mistake. Sam Darnold is. He's terrified to make a mistake. Whereas
and he still does it, though. They both had interceptions today.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Is like Baker, at least Baker's making his mistakes downfield. Right? Sam's making his mistakes right there at the line of scrimmage. That's going to hurt you way more. Those are always going to get returned. You know? So I would rather, you know, a quarterback go for it, try to make the big play and make a mistake there than make a mistake by either holding on to the ball too long or just not making the correct throw, not making the right read. So I don't know. I would just say, you know, in terms of going back to our original question, I'm not concerned yet, but if by like after the first preseason game, if those guys kind of aren't in their spots, then I think I'll start being concerned.
Yeah, it was just something that's been driving me nuts. It's like, all right, I get you want players to compete for positions. I get that, and competition usually does bring out the best in people. But when you know there's who's starting where.
Gap. Yeah. I mean, there's a talent gap. Ickey is the number 1 offensive lineman that was taken in the draft.
Yeah.
The number 1.
And it's not like, and it's not like, hey, maybe I can move him over to right tackle and start there. And if Christensen, no, Taylor Moton's great. He looked really good in the O-line pass rush scrimmage thing that we watched. It makes no sense. And then I hear people, well, he could play guard. If you drafted a guard with the number 6 overall pick, why? That's just... Yeah. Why?
Sure, he can play guard.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's drafted as a left tackle, and that's the premier offensive line spot. That's where we need him. That was one of our glaring weaknesses last season. You know, that's why you did that. That's why you went and spent all this money on the offensive line in the offseason. Put your best 5 guys out there. It's not hard.
And Michael Jordan's not one of the best 5.
No, he's not. Michael Jordan was getting his lunch handed to him today.
Yes.
Against almost every pass rusher. So, oh man. All right. I think that's going to do it.
Yep. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. And if you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show.
We'll be back, I guess, early next week, probably, to talk about the rest of this week in training camp and what happens this weekend.
We get a slight preseason preview.
I was going to say, do you want to reconvene? You want to reconvene to talk the Hall of Fame game?
Oh, no. Would I want to talk about the Raiders? No.
You want to talk about what's Jacksonville and is it Jacksonville and Oakland?
Yeah.
Is that who it is?
No.
Not Oakland, not Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Yeah, that's what I think it is. No.
I know it's Jacksonville for sure.
I mean, there's always, we could talk about the great trade of Denzel Perryman for like what, a 6th-round draft pick who's supposedly the heart of the Raiders defense after 1 year. Meanwhile, we're sitting here, Aaron Mosby as our linebacker.
Bozeman would, by the way, he would still be on the team. I think that was a 2-year deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Jesus. All right. Well, we'll be back early next week, and we'll be previewing the preseason game and getting everybody ready for that. So until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.